What's up, everybody? All right, let's get this project kicking. See it back there? See it right there? All right, so we're gonna set up the sump for the 240 today. It's a plan. That's what we're gonna do. Dogs are gonna help. Let me flip this thing around and kind of show you guys where we're starting. The stand that we're gonna be using for this. You guys are gonna laugh, but it's awesome. And we are gonna hide the stand, so you're not gonna see any of this. So let me get this thing flipped around. We're gonna check it out. He's gonna help. All right, so cinder blocks. You guys have seen me build stands from cinder blocks before. We had a 3-tier stand that we used cinder blocks on. So here's the plan right now. We're gonna take 2x4s. We're gonna go from here to there. We're gonna lay 3 across, 3 across, 3 across. So we're gonna have 9 2x4s going across to brace this piece of wood right here. You guys can see it's a 3/4 inch. It's kind of like that stuff you use for your counters and countertops. So we may laminate the sides, I'm not sure yet, but for right now, that is like 1 inch longer than the tank. So it's 97 inches, the tank is 96. So we're gonna have to cut 1 inch off of that, and then it's 1 foot wider. So we're gonna cut that much of it off. So we'll do that soon. But right now I just kind of want to show you guys the sump, the plan, what we're doing, what I'm using, and we're gonna go from there. I'm kind of mixing things up. The reason I'm doing that is because I have materials on hand that I'm going to use. So let me get the sump laid in here that we're going to use, and then I'll show you how we're going to make it fish safe. Alright, so here you see one galvanized tub. You're thinking to yourself, Brian, you cannot put fish in a galvanized tub. And you're right, you can't. So, bam, you guys see that? It's pond liner. We're going to take the pond liner, put it on the inside of this thing. We're going to wrap it, put it on the inside. The reason I went with this is because it's what I had. The other reason is I couldn't find a plastic tub that was only 1 foot tall, as you guys can see here. So that'll give me the clearance for the pipes and everything that'll be coming out of here, and then I'll be able to elbow them down in there, and then the return on the other side. So that's why we're going to use a pond liner and a galvanized tub. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. So we're going to get the pond liner in here. If you guys are wondering how we're going to keep that in, I'm simply going to use the cinder blocks. I'm going to slide these out a little bit, and then we'll pull the tub out, put the pond liner in it, trim it around here, trim it to the floor so it's overlapping all the way to the floor down there. And then we'll just kind of smash in with the cinder blocks, and then on this side what we'll do is just lift this up a little bit and slide, you know, the corners in there and there, and then do the same thing on the other side. That's just so it doesn't slip out, move, whatever. You don't want that to happen. You will kill your fish. Don't use galvanized tanks for just fish, or a sump for that matter. Always coat it. You can use pond armor. There's I don't know, there's all kinds of options with it. So that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna get the pond liner in there. When I trim it up, I'll kind of show you guys how I trimmed it, and then how we're gonna secure it in here. I'm a little out of breath, but I got it done. Alright, so what you want to do is just kind of loosely put the pond liner in, and then at this point I'm going to put some water in it, get this thing to settle down, and then you can adjust the sides and get everything tucked in. So you want to put about 2 inches of water just so you can lift one side, and then you know, you guys get the point. You want to tighten it in the middle, so that's why we're going to put a little bit of water in here, get everything tightened up all the way around, secure it, and then we need to be able to lift this and tuck this stuff underneath all the way around this thing. So yeah, that's what we're going to do right now. Alright guys, so this is what we're going to do. You look down here, I've got this side nice and smooth. You want to take the edges of your pond liner here and just kind of pull them in, pull them tight. Just make sure this is nice and flat. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You guys can see over there it's wrinkled up. And all we're going to do is just take this and tighten it up. Tighten it up down here. in your corners. Make sure it's nice and tight. Make sure that you don't press this against these yet until you're able to, you know, because you want to move the the pond liner into the pond itself. Once this thing starts to tighten up, you need to give it some time so that the water will hit it. The weight of the water will pull the liner down. All right, so got the pump set up, hooked up to the hose. We're gonna deal with that here in a little bit. Got it filled up about halfway, got everything tightened up, so nothing's gonna move, slide, any of that good stuff, which is important. You guys can see I have it about halfway full. It's about 6 inches of water, and then that pump down there is one nasty bugger, man. It's 4,000 gallons per hour. We're gonna have a bit of a river type tank. It's gonna be a lot of flow through this thing. It'll be pretty crazy. So, but we are, you know, we've got a good height that we're gonna go up. So we're gonna go up about 16 inches from the pump to the tank, and then another 15 inches from the, you know, the bottom of the tank to the top of the tank. So we've got a good bit of, you know, good ways to go, I guess you could say, to lift all that water. And at this point, just test your pump, make sure everything works, and then you can tell that I'm not using any baffles in here. You guys are probably wondering, well, how in the hell are you going to filter anything? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take that pump and most likely place it in a box, you know, like a plastic box, and then all the media is just going to lay in here. This is cycled media that I've got in a filter right now. So I'm going to just take all that and lay it in the bottom essentially. It's going to be a bunch of lava rock, some different things that I'm using, and I'll show you all that here in a later video. But for right now, you guys can see how I've set this up. Yes, we're using cinder blocks, but with the supports that I'm going to put across here, it's going to be more than fine. By the time it's all said and done, this is going to be hidden. You're not going to see the sump, but we are going to have easy access to it, and I'll show you guys how to do that in a later video. So make sure you guys stay tuned for this project, and we will talk to y'all later. Peace! Hold on, we have to have somebody say, oh, wait, the light's off. Can't have the light off. Hold on, let's get the light back on. Here we go. We'll plug that in right there. Boom. All right. Who's gonna say bye today? Who's gonna do it? Oh, you are? We just did a video on you. Now all of a sudden you love the camera? Yeah? All right, say bye, buddy. Say bye. Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Later.